Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight you are watching our coverage of the ECAC playoffs in Overwatch. Tonight will be Boise State versus Bethel University. This is a big matchup for tonight because this is round 3 of the playoffs bracket. The winner will move on to round 4 and face the winner. Tonight is a 6v6 competitive best of 5. The map order will go Control, Escort, and then Assault. I am your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, here to call all of the action for you here tonight against Boise State and Bethel University, who are ranked respectively. Boise State is ranked number 3 and Bethel is ranked number 6. So we do expect this to go Boise State's way, but it is not completely unwinnable for Bethel University. This is definitely something that they can come through, especially if they follow Doc's keys to the game, which in Overwatch is to never take a fair fight, which means take fights in unexpected places when they are unprepared, and tempo, tempo, tempo. And Doc's keys to the game are brought to you by Drop In Gaming. Drop In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. And there are a couple of even changes in the lineups tonight. But before that, we're going to go ahead and look at the bracket here, the ECAC Spring Playoff of Overwatch. Whoever ends up winning this will go into the next round and face what looks like Bay State here. No, this is... Yes, they will face Bay State here. Excuse me, I got all turned around. And then after that, the match, Boise State is hoping to get this matchup against Bay State, but then beyond that, we will see what happens in round 4. Tonight's lineups are Matt Merkel, Maxwell Gobb, Chosen, and Bagel. This is the dream team for Boise State. This is typically going to be our starting lineup against most of these teams, and today's lineups are brought to you by Count. Count's Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. And we are going to go ahead and get right into map 1, which will be Control, as it is always in Lijiang and as it is always in ECAC, excuse me, and first map will be Lijiang. So we're going to go ahead and get right into that. And Boise State on Lijiang Tower has several specific strategies that have served them well in the past. One of them is the Symmetra teleporter strat. We and lots of other teams have had huge amounts of success getting to the point first. We've also seen occasional Far Mercy and Echo comps, especially on this outdoor gardens map where you really have the space to get some work done as Farah. Really one of the only maps on Lijiang that doesn't benefit that playstyle is the indoor control center. And it looks like we are going to have Boise State in the blue there as we set up for this first fight. Goblin is trying to flank around and see what he can get, but Bethel is on the point first, so Boise State is fighting a little bit. They're going to have to find some way in. And Plato's going to go ahead and go right in, get immediately pinned and drop down to 130 HP and still lowering even as he backs into his Moira, but Kel's going to get the first elimination onto Symmetra, and that's Boise State up 1, now up 2, now just up 1 again as Plato is going to go down to Momo, but immediately after that, Quibsy is going to fall on that Reinhardt, and then Chosen's going to get the elimination onto Jake, and even though Bethel got the point first, Boise State is going to take first fight without even giving up any percentage. Plato was the price to pay there on the Monkey, going in first just barely before the support got there, and that is Boise State taking first fight as we set up for the next one. Bethel has swapped their Symmetra to a Doomfist, which is good for them because we talk about a lot of teams overstaying their welcome on that Symmetra. If you don't win first fight, it's usually advisable to swap off. And that's terrible for Boise State as Maxwell's going to go down first and Red Ninja on that Cole Cassidy, and immediately after that, Bagel's going to go down. That is Boise State down 2 in this fight. Plato just jumping over the wall to try and live here. Chosen and Keller out immediately after that, and you have to think of the remaining members of Boise State might just want to run away and give up the point. Plato's not going to do that. They are going to get eliminated, and Goblin is going to get cleaned up just because Translocator wasn't quite that far. That is Boise State 26%, and Bethel now 10% and climbing. And we see Boise State making some swaps here, going on Maxwell on that Reaper instead of that Tracer. And honestly, that might be a good decision. You definitely don't typically want to run Tracer into a Cole Cassidy. That is usually doom for said Tracer. Amplification Matrix is going to come out. Boise State is just going to try to wisely line of sight that, except Plato's going to dive right in, right through the Amplification Matrix. Very brave play. Is not going to pay off for Plato, but Maxwell's in your backline on your Baptiste, forcing out Immortality Field. Big J5 is going to go down, but Bagel and Kel have already gone down, so Boise State is already down more members, and they don't really have the energy to commit to this fight here, even as Maxwell gets a pick. Boise State has got to play a little bit more passively on that Winston. That Winston keeps going in before everybody else and not having the support to back them up, and that is definitely costing Boise State some fights here. And 26 to 56% and climbing, they have at least a couple of fights to figure this out. And a huge EMP is going to come out, but a sound barrier is immediately going to come out in answer to that. Got to hack the Lucio if you don't want that sound barrier coming out, especially after that bomb. Plato is going to commit the primal. Bomb will end up getting value onto Chosen. That's exactly who you don't want falling, and especially with Bagel out, you got to think Boise State might just be out of this fight. And with 74%, if they clean wipe here, they do have one more chance at a massive ultimate disadvantage here. Boise State is really uncomfortable. This is not the way Boise State wanted this to go, and 26 to 85. Boise State has one final fight here, walking into Shatter, Death Blossom, and another Amplification Matrix. It'll be an uphill battle for them, and Goblin has swapped over to the Doomfist. Might be the unexpected pick that we're looking for here. No, absolutely not. Red Ninja's going to go ahead and take Goblin out, and with that Death Blossom, Boise State's not even going to get on the point. Too scared of the Death Blossom, and down their main tank, nobody's going to touch, and that is first round going the way of Bethel, which is not really what anybody was expecting here tonight. Boise State really needs to clean up their act. And we do see this final desperate push here. They waited just a little bit too long, and especially with Goblin going down to that Cole Cassidy, Boise State really, I think, needs to respect the Cole Cassidy pick a little bit more and possibly run a Cole Cassidy of their own, because none of these flankers are going to be able to get value walking into that flashbang. And Red has shown us time and time again that he is not a Cassidy to be played with here. And this is an outdoor map, so maybe Boise State could have success running on a dive, but they've got to either eliminate or completely avoid that Cole Cassidy altogether if they want here. And it looks like Bagel is not going to go out for the standard rollout. No, he is! Boise State's in the blue, does not actually gets the triple kill there, and that is another fight handed to you, courtesy of the Bagel Boop on Lijiang. We always love to see Bagel with those huge triple kill, 4-kill boops, and that is going to get Boise State the point. Hopefully they can hold on to this point better than they did second point. Or better than they did last point, excuse me. And with 5% and climbing, Boise State is at a slight ultimate advantage just because Bethel has swapped their entire comp to now this aerial comp with the Mercy, and Red Ninja no longer on the Cole Cassidy, which was giving Boise State some pretty significant problems, but now the Soldier 76, and with Maxwell on that Symmetra on that point, he's set up, he's got the turrets, he's got the teleporter down, teleporting Goblin into their backlines on that Reaper. Immortality Field is going to come down for the side of Bethel, will be unable to save anybody specifically. Goblin is in your backlines on your Baptiste, and that Mercy is not going to be able to get that res, so they just have to go ahead and run into their spawn there, as Goblin is camping the enemy's spawn there. So they don't have the support that they're looking for, but they do have the point. Rez is going to come out, but Jake will get eliminated, as well as Quibsy on the point. Two separate fights are happening here for Boise State, and Goblin is going to finally get picked just barely outside of their spawn. And maybe Goblin was having a little bit too much fun there, but he managed to pick both supports for it, which is exactly what Boise State is looking for here, though they unfortunately did give up 16% of the point. But with 42% and climbing and an ultimate advantage going into this next one, they really just have to watch out for Amplification Matrix, and they can afford to lose a fight here. Amplification Matrix is going to come down, but with Bethel already being down one, that is not a good omen for them in the rest of this fight. And as that goes down, you have to think that maybe seals their fate, having no Baptiste and being down two. The remaining members are going to try to just get out and flee, which is the wise decision. Mercy will just barely be able to LOS Chosen for that, and then goes back in the air, but is luckily being supported by that Anna. Otherwise, that would have been instant death, being Chosen on that Baptiste. Ball's rolling around in the back, seeing what they can do. Shatter on the front line comes out, is unable to get any eliminations. Goblin is going to get Momo, however. Plato is also going to go down on that Reinhardt, as well as Maxwell. That is Boise State down 1, now down 2, as Momo is going to get res. This might be the fight that Boise State loses, even if Soundberry is committed, but unfortunately, Bagel is unable to even save themselves, as they're going to walk right into a mine there. And that is fight over for Boise State. At this point, they are just trying to contest on the point 4%. And honestly, 98%, if you're going to lose the fight, losing it at 98 is pretty good. Now Boise State just needs to win one more fight. And maybe this next fight for them should be a dry one, just because Bethel has a lot of ultimates that Boise State really kind of wants to cut them down on. And as the bomb is committed, Boise State is not necessarily trying to win this fight, just trying to get out as many ultimates as they possibly can. And right now, they've just gotten out the bomb. It would be really nice if we could get out either support ultimate, just so that we could take the next fight here. And it looks like no ultimates are coming out just yet, as Goblin is trying to do what little poke damage they can, rolling all the way into the back line, trying to catch up with that ball, is unable to do so. Maxwell should be back in the fight at this point, and so now Boise State has a full 6 to go in, but they're going into 3 ultimates with only 2 of their own. Amplification Matrix is going to be the ultimate that goes down first, a little bit splitting the point. Chosen going down first, not a good look for Boise State here, as both support ultimates are committed by Bethel, and the Visor's going to come out. Boise State doesn't even need to win this fight. They got out all the problematic ultimates that we were looking for, even as Red Ninja and Momo go down. Plato's going to go down. Bagel's going to get the elimination onto Quibsy. Goblin says, I don't need a main healer. I'll just go ahead and take out Jake. Red Ninja is going to take down Cal, however, but the members of Boise State are still fighting on this point, and they only need to win the one fight, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and flip point, and now at this point, Bethel has one desperate touch going through the high noon. Members will be able to line of sight it, but that doesn't stop Goblin from getting the elimination onto Big J there. And that is second point on control is going to go to Boise State there, and a phenomenal job. Even though they were down ultimates, the Boise State did a fantastic job of sustaining through all of the ultimates used, as Chosen was really the only one to go down to a direct ultimate, and the rest of Boise State just kind of fell back and then got the eliminations immediately after that. We are going on to Control Center, so this is a more brawl favored map, so we do expect this Cole Cassidy to make a return, and that was what gave Boise State such a problem. So Bethel is definitely still in this 1-1 on Lijiang control. As we get set up here, we do still have Boise State in the blue, and it looks like they're running a Reinhardt Diva comp with that Baptiste, of course. They're going to sim TP at what looks like right and just go straight into the building there. Both teams are in the building, and with Rhine Diva versus Rhine Sigma, Big J being eliminated first, that's a lot of brawl power that Bethel just lost, and especially being down 1 in the fight. Plato, you are barely living, my guy. Maybe don't push. Plato is going to understandably back up. Kel is going to get Momo. That is Boise State up 2. Now would be the time to push, and Boise State does exactly that while managing their own aggression, knowing they're walking back into that Junkrat. Not even walking into the Junkrat anymore, as he's just going to get eliminated by Plato. Yet again, that is first fight to Boise State, and first fight is the best fight to win when you're on control. Shatter's going to come out onto 4 members. Zach is going to go down as a result of that Shatter, and follow up by Goblin. Boise State is just camping this doorway and not letting the members of Bethel really get in the fight without getting picked, but immediately after that, Goblin is going to go down. But it looks like Goblin is a relatively small price to pay, as the remaining members of Boise State are still up, kicking and going strong here, holding doorway. But they did lose a little bit of their push potential with Goblin, so they are going to back up the point as soon as Bethel hard engages, because they are down there Junkrat. That gains Bethel a little bit of space here, but Boise State has the ultimates to hopefully turn this around, as Riptire is going to come out, and so is Amplification Matrix. Riptire is getting more value than the Amplification Matrix, at least right now, as Jake, Quibsy, Zach, and Momo are all going to fall in a relatively short time here for Boise State. That is a full team kill on the side of Boise State, and we always love to see it. And now, because of that team kill, Boise State has earned the right to get as aggressive as we want in this doorway here. And this doorway is a great hold for most brawls. If you win the fight, you want to take the space up to this doorway, because they only have a couple points of entry. And with your Junkrat spamming down both those points of entry, things are looking pretty good for you. But with that Shatter coming out, several members of Boise State falling, you have to think we weren't prepared for that Shatter, and we might lose lose a little bit of point percentage here as Boise State is just wiped. But, you know, if you're going to lose the point, losing it at 77, you only need to win 1, possibly 2 fights to win the map. But Bethel with 7% in climbing. We'll see if Boise State is even able to get back on their point as their members are relatively scattered right now. Goblin on that off angle, Bagel flipping between Goblin and the rest of the team that is just going straight down main. We'll see which junk tire gets more value. Looks like it's going to be, well, looks like neither one of them is going to get value. It's Kel with the bomb. In a battle of the junk tires, Kel with the bomb is going to go ahead and take everybody out there, giving Boise State the opportunity they need to push into this fight, which they do very aggressively. They were already immediately up 2, and now it's time to walk on that Reinhardt, which we do, but as soon as he backs through that door, that is Boise State's time to stop pushing. And with Zach going down again, Bethel has just been unable to keep this Baptiste alive on their side, and it is really costing them as Boise State 91 and Bethel has maybe an amplification matrix chance that they could use this on. His amplification matrix is going to come out, but the members of Boise State are able to just easily line of sight that and even not give Bethel the opportunity to even walk through that doorway there as Boise State is going to take point 1, Li Zhang. And Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. And just before we get into our next match, we are going to take a break. Our next match will be Escort and will be Route 66, but we'll get right back to that after these messages.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
and welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You are still watching our coverage of the Overwatch ECAC playoffs, round 3 of the playoffs bracket between Boise State and Bethel University. Currently, Boise State is up 1 map, but Bethel University is definitely more than making us work for it here. And again, this would seed the ranked number 3 teams and the ranked number 6 teams. I am still your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, here to call all the action. And we're going to try really hard to get right into second match, which will be Route 66. But just before that, we want to highlight Bagel for that fantastic boop that he did on Lijiang Tower. This is something Bagel very consistently does, and we didn't get to watch it in all of its glory here from this perspective. So we're going to go ahead and do the flyby. We see Jake going back on that Lucio. We see them thinking about it. We see the TP come out. Bagel's already there, though. Gets the boop onto 3 members of the team here. The Diva is able to get out, but Lucio isn't able to wall climb out, and Symmetra and Reaper sure aren't. So Bagel's just going to go ahead and get that triple kill that just handed Boise State the point, and this is a very common occurrence for Bagel on Lijiang Garden here. He always does an amazing job with the boops, and it's typically 3 to 4 people, especially if they're running a Symmetra stat, that Bagel just immediately takes out, and so far, he hasn't been punished for it, so might as well keep doing it. And with that, we're going to go right into Route 66. Route 66 is not necessarily a map where we're expecting to see a ton of huge Bagel boops on Lucio, but it is always nice to see them on Lijiang. And, you know, if we're going to see the boops, it's going to be this first point off the side wall there, but most teams don't play on that side wall. It looks like defenders are setting up on gas station, which is a very, very common strategy for this map, especially with that Orisa Echo Mercy strat. It looks like defenders are running a spam comp. Now, we don't know what they haven't shown the second DPS just yet. It looks like it will be a Sombra in that corner there, which doesn't necessarily help the spam, but does give them a little bit more flank here. And that is Boise State on the defense in the blue still, and Bethel in the red. Running what looks to be a dive comp with Quibsy and Momo on Ball and Diva, and then Red Ninja on that Ashe with Big J on Tracer, and Zach and Jake on Zen and Brig. So we're not expecting Goblin to get a ton of value on that Sombra if he dives the support lineup just because of that Brig. Got to be very, very careful of Jake. But there are several other members of the team that Goblin should be able to get tremendous value on that Sombra in. We see Boise State has just set up on this gas station, and so far Bethel hasn't been able to do anything to break their hold. I changed my mind. They're going to go ahead and take out Bagel and Maxwell, who were just a hair too far out of help's way there. And they're going to go down as Boise State down 2, still trying to hold the gas station, just trying to get as much time as they can, but not stopping any cart progress, as Plato is also going to go down. That is Boise State down 3, down 4 now, as Chosen is going to go down. And it really just kind of felt like as soon as they eliminated the Mercy Echo, Bethel just had that fight and had that point. Spectacular first point take by Bethel University. Boise State has some swaps to answer Bethel's phenomenal first point take. We decided the Echo wasn't necessarily the best idea here, and we do have a Soldier 76 now and a Brig instead of that Mercy. Goblin still on that Sombra. 82% to EMP, so that should be a free fight for Boise State whenever that is charged. As Pulse Bomb is going to get eaten by Cal, we love to see it, and we always expect it from Cal. Bagel is guarding the side on that Tracer, not letting them get any more value, even after their Pulse Bomb was eaten. Overall, a very nice swap on Bagel's part, since Tracer is somebody that's trying to give them a lot of problems. We see Maxwell on that off angle getting a ton of value with almost visor accuracy there, just hitting all of his shots to get those eliminations onto Red Ninja there, as well as Zach. And that is Bethel running for the hills, and Boise State having a much better hold second point than they did first point. And as long as this EMP lands onto Zach, Boise State should be able to take this next fight. But if Tranquility comes out, it'll be a battle between the Sombra and then Zenyatta to determine who wins this next fight here. Boise State is just waiting for Bethel to walk into EMP range, but Bethel knows exactly what they're walking into, and so they're doing so carefully, trying to locate the Sombra. That is Boise State up one. Goblin getting the elimination on the Red Ninja. Even as the mines are going to come out, they will not be able to get any value, in part because Maxwell is just destroying them all. Looks like neither EMP nor Tranquility is committed here, as Boise State is just going to win the fight by virtue of eliminating them before they can even hard engage into the fight. And maybe at this point, dive might not be the move for Bethel here, because their members are getting caught out and eliminated by Boise State here, and we've seen that happen a couple of fights in a row. But now Bethel has their ultimates, so it's unlikely they will swap off this comp at least within the next couple of fights. Maxwell set up on high ground for the visor of his life on that gas station. Goblins all the way in your spawn, looking for an EMP in that room. And I think he's going to get it. And there it is. Comes out on the 3 members on the back line. Tranquility just barely pops out in time. So that will end up being an EMP that does not get any value, just because Tranquility and Rally immediately came up after that. But EMP for both support ultimates, not a bad trade, even as Boise State is going to wipe and back up. Boise State does still have a touch as long as their members do not get eliminated, though it will be difficult walking through that single high ground doorway. And it will probably come down to Goblin to touch and likely be eliminated before the rest of his team gets there. Just going to yeet Bob right into Boise State, which is exactly what you should do, but Boise State now has a touch on the cart, and all 6 members are still living. Chosen and Keller are going to get some eliminations onto Bob and Big J. That is both teams even, as Plato is going to go down. Now up 1. Chosen's just having a phenomenal time on that. Baptiste getting all the eliminations here and keeping all of his teammates up. Bagel's going to go down. That is both teams even. But Boise State does still have their main support, who Chosen just keeps popping off, has gotten the most eliminations in this fight thus far. Cal going to go ahead and see if they can do any cleanup. Goblin and Maxwell also getting eliminations there as well. And that is another... That was unfortunate. Maxwell getting logged is very unfortunate. We always hate to see it, but you know, you can't stand in the open when they have that Hanzo, and that Hanzo was a relatively quick swap there. Goblin is going to take them out, however. Maxwell was the price, but ultimately a small price to pay for Boise State's now 2nd point hold. Now Bethel has about 2 fights with which to do something. With 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining and counting down, Bethel needs a new strategy. And it looks like as there are no hero swaps coming out, their strategy is just to try to dive and see what value they can get with that ball off doing their own thing. And you know what? Dragons is going to get a lot of value onto Bagel there, but immediately after that, Jake is going to fall. That is both teams down a healer. Plato is also going to be eliminated, but because Bethel is down their main tank and now just both tanks and a DPS, that is just a wipe for Bethel. But Plato being gone is going to cost Boise State a little bit of space here. They have to be a little bit less aggressive than they normally would be. Like, they've been holding the bridge the past couple of fights, but now they're going to have to hold the high ground, particularly with Chosen, just because there's already cover there, and they don't have the benefit of that Orisa's shield. Maxwell is again looking for that Blizzard, possibly from high ground. He's running around trying to find it in the corner there. So far, the members of Bethel have not spotted him out. No, it looks like ball is coming straight for him. Maxwell has rejoined Plato and the team. EMP is going to come down onto 3 members, big EMP, and immediately after that, the rest of Boise State comes in with the cleanup, and you have to think maybe that's fight for Bethel, because they just don't have the members to try to contest this point, and especially without Hanzo getting any eliminations on the cart there, and Sights is going to come out just to kind of put the final nail in the coffin there for Bethel's 2nd point push. You got to think this is the end for them, even as the Desperation Tranquility comes out and barely touches point, but Boise State should be able to eliminate him immediately out of that Tranquility. They will do exactly that, but Maxwell is going to fall to Red Ninja, who has swapped over to the Soldier 76 just a touch, but is unable to do so because he is booped and then immediately eliminated. Boise State didn't have a great 1st point hold, not gonna lie, but immediately after that, they adjusted their strategy, came back and held it better on 2nd point. And because of that, Bethel is in a position where they have to do the same thing. But This is still winnable because, in theory, if Boise State can do it to Bethel, Bethel should also be able to do it to Boise State here. But it is a very uncomfortable position to be in when you don't even cap second point of Route 66. Usually on these escort maps, you want to at least get somewhere in third point, because then at third point you start having defender spawn advantages and things like that. And it's definitely uncomfortable no matter how you slice it if you don't full cap. But there are ways that are much more manageable than not managing to cap second point. Bethel, if they want to do this, their best defense is going to have to be on first point, and then they'll have to just pop it up to, and then they'll have to keep that strong defense on second point that Boise State had. But really where you're trying to burn off most of Boise State's time is this first point. Because you know if you get wiped first point, you at least have a touch before second point. But if you get wiped on second point, just because that card is in a very difficult position, you might not necessarily get all 6 members back. So Bethel's hold to pay attention to is this first point. It looks like they're set up on the high ground on gas, but Boise State is popping out with their own dive. They've brought the return of the Echo Mercy. We'll see if they'll be able to do it better than they did it on defense first point. Goblin's going to have to teleport out, just barely leaving that Tracer alive there. Echo Beam's going to come out, get no eliminations. Maxwell's having a really hard time getting an in to that gas station hold, which is exactly what Bethel is looking for here. They don't want that Echo in. But a huge nade could change this entire fight, especially as Diva's looking in the back line. They're all grouped up. One nade could just win Boise State the fight. But instead, Maxwell and Chosen are just going to get eliminations, and Chosen doesn't need that nade to do exactly that. And Boise State, knowing they're up to, is going to hard push that. And that is, you have to think, the end of a first point hold for Bethel here, because their members didn't wipe cleanly. They will not be able to be back as a full team to contest this cart if Boise State gets 3 on point. Especially as Momo is going to get hard staggered. That is the members of Bethel unable to get back, and wisely just trying to set up for a second point hold. Not what you're looking for if you're Bethel, but still theoretically winnable, because this is exactly what Boise State did on attack. Or on defense, excuse me. They are going to hard commit Boise State, not trying to give Bethel the time to reset up. Red Ninja and Zach are going to go down. Boise State might just take this if Bethel doesn't have a way to stabilize, as their members are just getting eliminated left and right. That Brig is weak. Just Puncher is going to end up doing exactly that. The price is Bagel, but with Maxwell popping off in your back lines, pretty hefty price to pay. Plato is going to get nanoed in and see what eliminations they can get, but Chosen's going to get eliminated on the cart by Zach, and that might actually end up being the end of Boise State's push unless we have some miracle individual plays here. And Goblin wants the miracle individual play, is going to go right up onto Zach and just immediately eliminated. Duplication is going to come out. The remaining members of Boise State have respawned. So Bagel and Maxwell are back in this fight. Maxwell is going to get immediately taken out after the minefield, but will take out Red Ninja, Big J, and now Quibsy. And that might just be map for Boise State here, going to this Route 66. Bethel has a desperate touch, and they will have the opportunity to throw some bodies on the point, but unless they can get the trades, they're not even going to get to touch. Boise State says absolutely not, and eliminates Bethel before they can even touch second point, and that is second map going over to Boise State in a decisive fashion. So Boise State definitely learned from being punished on Lijiang and stopped making some of those mistakes and played a little bit tighter, and because of that, they took Route 66 with more than 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, which is a phenomenal job. And Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production, and broadcasters. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. And you know, it's always good to be part of a winning team, and so when you have your Boise State Esports plug right after Boise State wins the map, that's pretty good. And we will be going to a map number 3 that will be 2CP. Boise State is we're expecting it to be Temple of Anubis, just because that's what lots of other teams run, but there are some other maps like Hanamura that we could see come out. But before that, we're going to go to a break.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Hello and welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You are still watching our Overwatch ECAC Collegiate Playoffs bracket. We are in round 3 of the playoffs here. Boise State versus Bethel University here tonight. Boise State being the ranked number 3 team and Bethel University being at rank 6. We do have the next map is going to confirm to be Temple of Anubis, which was what we were expecting. I am still your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, here to call all of the action for you here tonight. So far, Boise State is up 2 maps. If we win Temple of Anubis, we can go ahead and take it and move on to round 4 to get that rematch against Bay State, which is a team that Boise State has a lot of history with. So Boise State really wants to win tonight and right now, and so we expect to see some clean plays coming out on Temple of Anubis and maybe even some individual popping off, as we are going to go ahead and get right into that after looking at this bracket. Like we said, Boise State really wants this rematch against Bay State or Minnesota, really whoever comes out on top there. And then we want to move to round 4, and there are a number of different ways that we can go. Minnesota is a team that Boise State doesn't necessarily have all of the history with that we do with Bay State, so, but we want to win either way. And Boise State is up 2 maps in this match against Bethel tonight, so it is looking pretty good for us here, and we're going to go ahead and get right into 2CP.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
And if the trend continues, Boise State will still be in the blue, so on defense first here. And it looks like Boise State is running some sort of a spam comp, which is the clean team play that we were expecting here. However, it looks like on attack there is a dive comp being ran, which is viable on Temple of Anubis with incredible coordination. Viable if difficult, and you really will struggle to jump right into the spam comp. And it actually will be Bethel in the blue. Boise State and Bethel have switched colors here. Plato and Kel on those dive tanks, and they are right in on the team. And Kel getting that first elimination onto Zach. That is really good for Boise State and really bad for the defending Bethel. We're going to go in, and Maxwell's going to get eliminated by Big J, and Big J's going to take Cal out of mech, so it feels like Big J's doing all they can in this fight, even down to main healer, and they're going to take Plato out too, so they say they don't even need Zach. They're just going to go ahead and subvert the Boise State push off of the back of Big J there, but with Bagel and Goblin getting eliminations, this fight isn't as cut and dry as all of that. This fight has been relatively scrappy. Boise State still not hard disengaging. Goblin is still in. Goblin is still trying to touch the point, even as Plato comes back after getting eliminated. Boise State has those respawns, but Bethel has Zach in that corridor. It'll be up to that Baptiste to keep everybody up, and it'll be up to Boise State to take him down, because as long as that Baptiste is there, they're going to have a really hard time walking into that spam. EMP is going to come out in response to Rally. Will land on to two members of Bethel, one of which is the Rally. Big J is just popping off and taking everybody out. Where even is this Hanzo? We don't know, and Boise State certainly isn't having a great ability to counter him, even as Chosen is just going to laser him down on that point. But it might be too little too late, as Chosen is going to get taken out by Zach, and Bagel is going to go immediately after that. And that was a fight that Boise State committed ults to and lost, just because Big J has been repeatedly popping off. Boise State really needs to take this fight and reset to think about, how are we going to counter the Hanzo? Because he's wiped 3 to 4 of us, both fights we've won it. And it looks like they're just going to jump right on that Hanzo, and at some point the Hanzo can't really do anything if that monkey's just going to keep following him exactly like that. Eliminate Big J, win game, question mark, even as Kel goes down, and Bagel's going to go down immediately after. Red Ninja picking up the slack. Boise State might not necessarily have the Zach on the high ground, is going to get taken out by Plato. Boise State has the members to be in this, especially taking down their main healer, Zach, who's been having an unfortunate time, but they can't quite hard commit into that room, as Jake's going to show them exactly why you should fear a Brig in close range. Soundberry is going to change the narrative a little bit as we go in and get the elimination onto Jake, and at this point it is just cleanup for Boise State, getting Momo out of the mech. And Plato's going to go down, but so is Quibsy, and Momo immediately after that. Big J is back and wants you to know it with an elimination onto Goblin. Goblin will be the price here, but Big J, unless he can 1v6, Boise State's going to take this point. 1v6 was improbable. Big J was unable to do it, but that is no PM to Big J. They definitely did everything they possibly could in that defense against Boise State. Sometimes there's not much you can do as a Hanzo if a monkey just dives onto you. And now Boise State has the right to attack point 2 here. And with an early EMP on the 3 members, 3 of which have ultimate actually, that's pretty big, but Bagel's going to get remeched on by Momo, and that might be the end of Boise State's push here, as being down to support, and the rally comes out, not looking good for Boise State. So we might just want to clean wipe here and spend our time and resources in another fight. It is unfortunate that Boise State lost the EMP there, but they took out Visor from Bethel as well as Rally, and those were some of the big ultimates that Boise State was fearing on this second point. So they might have just intentionally used the EMP, see what they could get out. And they ended up not winning the fight, but now they're in a much better position to take this second fight here, as long as they do it before Big J can get any picks on the rotation. Ooh, Plato dropping very weak there. We'll drop down to 73 HP. That is always scary to watch here. Plato's going to have to fall back and get a little bit of healing, sending Boise State into another rotation period and stopping a little bit more time. They could be used pushing here. Plato wants to use that Primal, and Maxwell wants to use that Death Blossom on that point. We are going to open, however, with neither Primal nor Death Blossom. Bomb's going to come out and end up getting no eliminations. In answering, Supercharger will go down. Zach and Jake are down. That is both supports down for Bethel. Boise State has an opportunity here. As long as we keep all of our members up, Boise State should be able to take this point. And on 2CP, the immediate respawns are coming out. So Bethel will be back before Boise State has been able to take the full point here, as Jake is going to be the last member eliminated. And as the second tick comes out, Maxwell's going to camp your spawn with Death Blossom. But looking very, very weak there. Just barely manages to live and use Death Blossom on point. Boise State, first fight was looking a little bit messy, but second fight was very, very well done. The target focus on the side of Boise State was phenomenal. We knew who we needed to eliminate, and we did exactly that. Before Bethel could even get a full 6 back on the point, Boise State was in their spawn doors, enabling them to get first, second, and third tick once the fight was engaged in less than a minute here. And now as we set up again, Bethel has a pretty tall order ahead of them. Hard capping first and second point on Temple of Anubis is something that is very, very difficult, especially as you approach that second point, because their respawns are just immediately right there. And even if you hard wipe a team on 2CP like Temple of Anubis, they will be back. So even if you do have all 6 of your ultimates to do a snowball strategy, they should be back to touch the point before you've gotten all 3 ticks, especially if you don't have 3 dedicated members on the point at all times. They should be back to touch the point before you've gotten all 3 ticks, especially if you don't have 3 dedicated members on the point at all times. And it looks like Boise State is running some sort of spam comp on that middle high ground there. We see the Echo, definitely a spam here. We see Goblin on the Hanzo, hopefully trying to take Big J out on that Hanzo. It'll be very interesting to watch these two very high-level Hanzos go at each other here. Boise State has just committed to the full spam, and with Zach going down first, Bethel's lost their push. At this point, their tanks are in that room without any hope of support, but Boise State can't quite walk into that room just yet. Maxwell's definitely trying to get some spam in through the ceiling, ends up getting a little bit spammed himself. But Zach will be unable to relocate and get with his tanks as long as Goblin holds this angle, and that just like that, Bethel is now down 2 again, but Boise State can't push into them in that room. They're now on the point, only 4 there, trying to rotate to the high ground. This is a really long fight that Bethel cannot necessarily afford to lose, just because when you commit a minute 30 to possibly 2 minutes to a fight, it's usually really bad if you do lose. But Quibsy will take Goblin out. That is somewhat evening the score here, but Zach has been unable to completely regroup with his tanks so far. Red Ninja being the solo one on the point, Big J taken out again on that point. Zach has just had an unfortunate time since they were caught in first rotation. Boise State has done an amazing job at not letting that main healer reunite with their team, and that's exactly what you want to do if you get the elimination onto their main healer and their split. And at this point, it's just cleanup. Boise State has finally had the opportunity to walk on them, and that was a phenomenally done job by them. Zach spent about 2 minutes and 30 seconds trying to get back to his team and was denied at every opportunity and immediately eliminated for his efforts there. That's feels bad, especially as Goblin gets the elimination onto Big J. And now Bethel only has 2 minutes remaining. They can't afford to take another long fight and lose. And as Jake goes down, they're still committed to this fight. They're still trying to get the eliminations, but down to support and down their mobility, this is not looking too good for them as they are now down 2. And maybe the wise decision would just be to reset. You have a minute and 38 seconds. You can't afford to take these long fights and lose them. And you have a little bit of time to take the fight that you want to. And especially as Bethel has some ultimates coming online, they are going to back up a little bit. Boise State unable to push them in that room yet again, but Goblin is able to get the log onto Big J. Boise State is kind of like soft pushing them in the room, spamming them out, as Sound Barrier and Sigma Ultimate are immediately going to come out, kind of cancel each other out here. Kel is unable to get any elimination value with that Sigma Ultimate, but has got all the members of Bethel grouped up on that high ground there. Now actually like heading back, and with a minute remaining, they have time to reset once before they really have to hard commit and go in. Maxwell's going to send his dragons, goblins, excuse me, is going to send his dragons right in that room and go take the 1v1 with Big J in the back line. We'll see how that turns up for either Hanzo there as they both continue to lob arrows, both so preoccupied with the other that they don't have time to mess around with the team. Chosen is going to get eliminated. This might be the ray of hope that Bethel was looking for to even get past first point. But immediately after that, Bagel pops rally, giving Boise State the sustain they need to stay in this fight. Kel Deagle Bomb is going to come out, giving him a whole new health bar with that mech there. Kel can't push in, so he's just holding the high ground and seeing what eliminations we can get. Goblin finally getting the elimination of the Red Ninja. Might be what we're looking for here, but with Bagel going down, that is Boise State down both supports until Chosen is able to come back, and Chosen is now back in the fight. So now just down one as both amplification matrices come out. That Reinhardt is going to walk right through that amplification matrix, but get immediately eliminated for his troubles by Chosen, and walking right into Plato on that Orisa. Both teams losing a lot of people here. Zach and Momo are going to go down. Goblin is the price for Boise State to pay here, but it looks like Boise State, small price to pay for a win there, as that is map 3. Boise State has won, so that will be just round 3 of the playoffs bracket going to Boise State here. And that's exactly what you want to see if you're a Boise State fan here tonight. But honestly, Bethel made us work for it. We definitely had to completely adjust our play style from first map on Lijiang. So great effort, Bethel. Boise State will be the one ending up going to round 4 in this playoffs bracket here. So it looks like Boise State is going to get that rematch that they want against Bay State in the round 3, excuse me, and then the winner of that will go to round 4, just one step closer to becoming the champions of the ECAC spring playoff in Overwatch here. And before, we do have some Rocket League tonight, but before that, we do want to highlight some specific players for the ICCU player of the game. Some specific players that I would like to highlight is, I think Goblin is usually a pretty safe bet, so you definitely have to mention him in the ICCU player of the game discussion. But the player that I think really elevated themselves the most and really kind of like changed their play style to the way Bethel was doing things was Plato. Plato was thrown back into that main tank role after having not been there for most of the situation, but it looks like Maxwell will end up being your ICCU player of the game. They did a phenomenal job on all the heroes they popped out with, and especially on this soldier, they really weren't ready for that swap to Route 66, and that was definitely one of the many reasons that Bethel was not able to even cap this point, and especially after getting immediately eliminated first point, coming back and just being oppressive on that Soldier 76 was amazing. And the ICCU player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Maxwell is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Very, very well deserved as we watch their highlight reel on the Echo. And actually, this is what led Bethel to being unable to win the map against Boise State here and not cap that second point, just because Maxwell decided to pop off and eliminate everybody on that Echo. And I expect we will see maybe a couple more Maxwell plays in the top 5. As we prepare to close out this match, the top 5 plays are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. From all of us here at Boise State Esports, thank you for joining us. Be kind and stay safe, and we'll see you back here in a little bit for some Rocket League. Door map, so maybe Boise State could have success running on a dive, but they've got to either eliminate or completely avoid that Cole Cassidy altogether if they want here. And it looks like Bagel is not going to go out for the standard rollout. No, he is! Boise State's in the blue, does not actually gets the triple kill there, and that is another fight handed to you, courtesy of the Bagel Boot. That's right. If you don't win first fight, it's usually advisable to swap off. And that's terrible for Boise State, as Maxwell's going to go down first, so Red Ninja on that Cole Cassidy, and immediately after that, Bagel's going to go down. That is Boise State down 2 in this fight. Plato just jumping over the wall to try and live here. Chosen and Keller out immediately after that. And you have to think of the remaining members of Boise State might just want to run away. He is just to try to dive and see what value they can get with that ball off doing their own thing. And you know what? Dragons is going to get a lot of value onto Bagel there. But immediately after that, Jake is going to fall. That is both teams down a healer. Plato is also going to be eliminated. But because Bethel is down their main tank and now just both tanks and a DPS, that is just a wipe for Bethel. Down Cal, however, but the members of Boise State are still fighting on this point. And they only need to win the one fight. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and flip point. And now at this point, Bethel has one desperate touch going through the high noon. Members will be able to line of sight it, but that doesn't stop Goblin from getting the elimination onto Big J there. One nade could just win Boise State the fight. But instead, Maxwell and Chosen are just going to get eliminations, and Chosen doesn't need that nade to do exactly that. And Boise State, knowing they're up to, is going to hard push that. And that is, you have to think, the end of a first point hold for Bethel here, because their members didn't wipe cleanly. They will not be able to be back as a full team.
I've never felt more divided than now. Every word that leaves your lips never means how it sounds. You've conquered the best of me, could have just set me free. Games that you play are just second hand. And now I'm beside myself, don't want your fucking help. Let me just go, let me just go. And don't you lie to me. When it feels like I'm drowning, I hate to say goodbye, but it's time to go. All I need is someone else.
Hello and welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We just did Overwatch ECAC and now we are here to transition to Rocket League ECAC. We do have a couple of matchups for you tonight. I am your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, and joining me to call all of the action is Colin CMJ McJunkin. And because we are so early in the playoffs, we have round 2 and 3 games here, how do teams distinguish themselves early playoffs?
Overall domination is probably what they're looking forward to. You know, the best thing you can do to set yourself apart is to be that team, that fun team to watch, that you blow everyone out of the water. You know, we all got to admit, you love watching that. So that's probably what I'd say Boise State's aim is tonight.
How do you distinguish yourself? You roll. You heard it here. There we go. And so what are some strategies that Boise State should be looking to employ to try to roll of these teams and be super aggressive and distinguish yourselves in round 2 of the playoffs?
The two biggest things I could probably think of is demos, disruption of their rotations, and overall speed. If you can beat them with speed, the point they can't comprehend what really is happening or adapt to it, there's
then
nothing
you just
they can do.
Win.
Yep.
If you're just faster than they can thought process, you just kind of win.
Yep.
So we'll see how that advice compares to Doc's keys to the game, which in Rocket League is to set a play style, you understand your rotations, you play to follow up, and sweaty comms. And Doc's keys to the game are brought to us by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. And this first matchup for Boise State will be Boise State versus the CSI Dolphins. Boise State is currently ranked 1 in the ECAC bracket, and the CSI Dolphins are ranked 16. That is Staten Island there. And with that, we're going to go ahead and try to get into game as fast as possible, as fast and furious as possible, which is exactly how Boise State is going to be looking to play against these teams to distinguish themselves in this bracket.
See how it's all connected from the very beginning.
It's all connected.
It's all getting there.
And it does look like the 50-50 is going to go the way of Boise State here, and then things are taken into orange territory here.
Here we already have Instinct going off the backboard with an interesting touch, putting it down in front of the net, and Gil already getting the 50 challenge there. 11-10, and already Boise State's pressure is pretty immense here. The ball drop in front of the net. Gil's going to pick that up for him right there.
Things have been back over into the blue side. Boise State says absolutely not, and they're immediately going to take that right back over, putting the real pressure on San Diego State here.
That was close. That was just a bit outside, and Gil's already up for it to deflect. Gets it down, a lucky touch off Instinct. Doesn't go into our own net. Now we're going to have Gil pick it up in our backfield. We look for a level of ball control. This is the first demo of the game. Just
like you were talking, Cosmo Buster getting that demo there. That's what we were looking for.
Exactly. If you can disrupt the rotations, and we pass mid, you can probably make something happen off a demo 9 out of 10 times.
Honestly, with how long it is taking either team to score, this is not necessarily the level of aggression that we were looking for to distinguish ourselves in the playoff there. We do see 11-10 with that little Ukrainian flag there on their car as we immediately switch over to Cosmo Buster, who's trying to get something done for Boise State here as they pass it over to Instinct.
Instinct probably going to take it off the wall for a backdoor pad. Cosmo's going to play the smart play and do third man job. It's over, Cosmo, though.
Almost. That was a bit closer than comfort for Boise State here. This is not what we're looking for. Boise State definitely didn't want them taking shots on our goal first stop here, but 11-10 says, I don't care, I'm going to do that anyway. 11-10 and Cosmo Buster just kind of like trying to juke each other, and Dodge Drifty is just barely going to miss a couple of times. It feels like the backboard has more saves than any player in this game.
You know, I say it almost every time, and there's a good flick over with Instinct. Wow.
That's the big first score. Boise State was looking for the first score. That's exactly what we wanted here. And it comes to fruition off the back of Cosmo Buster and Instinct getting it across the field in a single play.
There's a just small little flick. That's all a small little touch has to take. And, you know, Instinct showing it off right there.
The 50-50 will send it back into orange territory here. Instinct looking for that second goal. 11 says absolutely not. We're not going to give it to you a second time. But Cosmo Buster and Gil really want it as they pass back and forth. And things go over into blue territory. Drifty trying to see what they can do to get this in.
Off that 50 here, we just need to take a little bit more ball control as we're just kind of passing it. There's a shot on net. Easily blocked by 11, but it's still on their side. Something could turn out of this. Gil with a good 50. Doesn't go in our favor. That might be in our own net with the miss by Instinct. Cosmo's fortunately going to get it out of the net for there. That was a crazy sequence of events. And going right back over our net. Gil there to make the good save. Another Instinct 50 coming out. Two of their players in Boise State's corner. Their spacing isn't amazing here.
This is much scarier than Boise State would like here. There have been several attempts on the goal that have just barely not gone the way of the CSI Dolphins here.
There's definitely some luck in play as of right now, but Boise State is the one that is up by 1 right now.
And that's where you want to be. I mean, first goal going to Boise State. It is taking them longer to score than maybe we would have hoped with each of these scores. But, you know, 1 is still enough here, especially as both teams' defenses have just been phenomenal.
But that's what we see a little bit from Boise State. It's not until game 2 or 3 that we really see this kind of adaptation to the other team's play style. And, you know, we just need to be patient for it, I guess you could say. We're just analyzing them.
They don't really hit their stride until game 2 or 3. Game 1 is all about getting a read on the enemy team.
Exactly. Artie?
So what is the goal here for Boise State to maybe like break this back and forth that the teams have going on so far?
Ball control and possession would probably be the biggest thing, I'd say. We see a lot of just, you know, power shotting the ball down the field, which could work some bit of the time. Like there we see Gil is sniping it down the field. If we get a little more ball control and set up a midfield pass or off the backboard, we could probably see a breakdown of the defense, or just gaining possession, allowing a player to go up in the field and get a demo. It's already dangerous for our net. We're going to clear, but disrupting in any way.
And it does look like that is barely going to be safe for Boise State as Instinct is going to go ahead and take that ball. And with 30 seconds remaining, this is a very, very low-scoring game just because both teams have been unable to completely capitalize and get good, clean shots on the other's net.
There's that bump coming out from Cosmo, the missed touch by Instinct.
Ooh, tied up in the last 30 seconds. This is a close game here.
There's just that small misread by Instinct that is going to capitalize on a mistake. That mistakes mean goals a lot of times in Rocket League.
Especially in such a fast-paced game as this. And actually, this game wasn't necessarily as fast-paced as we were expecting, as both teams are very, very back and forth, very, very not necessarily being able to take the shots that they want on the other team's goal. And we are going to go into what looks like overtime here. But just barely is Boise State going to save that attempt on that goal.
Stat Island is keeping the ball up as a far, but just as I say it,
it hits the ground. That is the caster's curse. There's the 50-50. Is going to go not in Boise State's favor. Instinct is trying to juggle the ball over on the other side, get things into orange territory where Boise State is trying to score.
There's Gil out there to demo, and Cosmo up with the low shot to the corner.
Ooh,
just
almost
bounced off. Could see a follow-up Instinct for fake on the defenders. Now with all 3 retreating back. Ball still on Wayne State's side. We could see capitalization here by Boise State. With the pass by Gil, it's a little awkward. The clear, and Cosmo Buster's going to send it right back around. And it's just a roundabout at this point.
Instinct is trying to get in position to get that shot. They say, no, you don't get the shot. And I actually feel like that's the biggest problem these teams have been having, is setting up their shots. Because we've seen not a lot of shots in the first place, but of the shots that we've seen, they haven't been very high-quality, accurate shots either.
Oh, the ground pinch.
Just as we say that, they're going to finally get that, and that is Boise State up 2-1.
Larry's that. Ooh. That's the overtime winning game right there. Winning shot by Instinct. Quite a creative ground shot, I'd say.
And especially considering the other Boise State goal that we saw before we go into next map here was just going across the entire field before they even had the time to rotate. What does Boise State need to do to have better shots on the goal. Because just like we kept saying, both teams, there were, first of all, not a ton of shots. Like, usually you're sitting with, like, 10 shots for some of these big playmakers, but we barely got, like, 4 or 5 on some of our big playmakers as well, just because the ball was rolling around. How do you take more and better shots?
It is that keeping possession of the ball. If we're just passing it back and forth, we get a lot of that back and forth, and we're missing a lot of opportunities. You know, our boost usage might have been good there, might have not, but we weren't getting a lot of disruption by us main control the ball or setting up any of our players directly. There was no follow-up there, I believe.
So we'll see if Boise State is able to do a little bit better on round 2 and 3, which Boise State is somewhat known for, coming back in the later rounds, as this isn't looking much different from the first minute that we saw last match.
Already seen a little bit slower pace. Ooh. That was almost a dunk on Cosmo right there. And we need to see Instinct here take control here. Was the one to settle the game last time. We need to see that same type of behavior come out for this game if we want to win the 2-0 match.
At 11-10, I think, has been one of the big playmakers for Staten Island here. So it will be up to Boise State to maybe get the demo or otherwise deny 11-10 value. And Cosmo Buster's going to go ahead and get that score. The last 2 went to Instinct. This one's to Cosmo Buster. Boise State members are really putting in work here. And that goal was faster than first goal last round. Do you think that's a good omen?
That is a good omen. And you'll see there you catch them out of rotation here. That's the first goal that's been caught out of rotation there. And that could be the beginning of breakdown for Wayne State's defense. We'll have yet to see that here. But Instinct already at a good 50. The ball's back on Wayne State's side. The flipper set coming out of Gill doesn't quite get it. Instinct getting around one defender. Could be going in.
Almost.
Just close. Keeping a lot of pressure. There's a shot on goal. Saved. And we're going to get a rotation out here for Cosmo, but the pressure's not going to lighten up from Boise State's side.
And things head over into blue territory here. Cosmo Buster is there to immediately say no to that, but Drifty's going to stop the shot on the goal. And I will say, Staten Island has been amazing with these saves, especially that one by Mux.
Just a bit there. That was almost the second goal of the game for Boise State, but just barely saved by Wayne State's own defense right here. We see Cosmo with the pre-jump on the backboard. Gill. Looks like an open net if Cosmo's able to cover here.
Ooh, just barely is able to cover there. And this is much scarier than Boise State is looking for here. Luckily, Cosmo's coming through for us. Instinct is now rotated back to the goal as we switch back over to Mux, who is still looking for these shots.
All right, we have Gill seeing exactly taking advice. Keeping control of possession of the ball. Allowing the ball to stay on there. Might get a ground pinch. Everything's been up in the air so far. I haven't seen any kind of ground plays here yet from Boise State, from any team. In that fact,
we haven't seen a ton of dribbling or anything like that. Most of it's just been lobbing the ball up in the air and seeing who it goes over to here. Instinct is going to get that play just off the wall, take the ball, and just as we say there was no dribbling, there's going to be just a little bit there as Mux is going to take that ball away and send it further into blue territory.
Let's get some out of rotation. 11-team getting a 50-50 out here. Drifty going to set it up on the backboard, but the backboard defense for Boise coming out strong. Cosmo sending it down the field, giving up possession to 11-team, but it's right back on the backboard for a pass.
Ooh, that almost went in for the side of Boise State there. Gill almost made it, looking to try and redeem themselves. They will be unable to, but Instinct is going to give him another shot here maybe. Setting Cosmo Buster up. 11-team gets there barely just in time, and it misses, but not enough. Couldn't get there fast enough for the second one. That is Instinct with our third goal. Cosmo Buster did get the one, and Instinct has overall gotten 3, but just 1 this round. That is Boise State up 2-0.
It's a great way to start off so far. With just under 2 minutes left here. There's still a chance for Staten Island to come back, but it looks like Boise State started to take slow amounts of control of the ball here, as we see it here with Gill with a really good flip reset, just slightly off the execution of it though. Instinct up with the touch over Drifty, back down.
Ooh! Instinct's gonna get it again. That is 2 goals this round. Cosmo Buster scoring the third one there. And that is Boise State up 3-0 here. And with how long these teams are taking to score, 1 minute and 37 seconds is not a long time for Staten Island to try to turn this around.
That was an amazing play by Instinct right there, taking absolute control, getting the beat, getting it over. getting the flip reset off the wall to give it that extra bit of power. There's a shot on Boise State's net. 11 team going to finish that off.
I mean, we were wondering whether or not this was going to be enough time for them to do it. 11 says absolutely and makes that goal within 5 seconds there. Has been the really big playmaker for Staten Island so far.
Just as I'm crediting Instinct, makes a mistouch similar to last game. On a mistouch, a goal scored. Let's see if Boise State's composure can stay here.
Cosmo Buster defending the goal. 11's taking another shot at it. This time it's Gil that blocks the shot, and things head more into safe territory as Cosmo Buster gets the demo on Drifty.
Cosmo getting revenge for his teammate Gil there. Gil, that was quite an impressive play from Gil. He got bumped, made it, there's a shot just off. Cosmo going to save it off the sidewall. Could have been anything more dangerous to pass to midfield. We're going to see Gil take possession of the ball here. Drifty on it, gets it over one. Buck's going to set it back down, but Instinct's just there to follow it up. We just have a back and forth here. Cosmo being the third man, getting a good touch.
Instinct is going to stop that ball from going in. Usually one of the playmakers for Boise State, but right now they are back in the goal defending from this relentless onslaught onto Boise State. And with that demo on the Cosmo Buster, this might be the opportunity they need, but nope, things are going to head right back over onto Staten Island's side of the field.
There's a bit of mistouch from Staten Island's own player, but they're going to quickly turn it back around. The ball's just going back and forth at this point. When's somebody going to take control of the ball here? It's dropped in the middle. This could be dangerous. 8 seconds left. 3-1. I would say this game's in the bag, but never say never.
Unless 11 can make the cross field amazing play. Mux almost does it, but hits it right to Gil. And that is 2 maps to Boise State there.
See a little bit of Valorant.
We do see a little bit of Valorant, and we are going to highlight one of our amazing Rocket League players. That is Instinct Kyle Addy, Boise, Idaho, a kinesiology major. Kyle was an answer to a prayer. I was hoping we had one more amazing player at Boise State, and poof, there he was. No one is more accurate, and I mean, we definitely saw Instinct hard carrying with those shots there.
Yeah, this one in particular is just quite amazing on the skill level precision of mechanics that it takes to do that. Getting it over one, getting over the second, and just, it's beautiful play. It's beautiful technique, and there was no other statement more accurate than him being quite accurate in car soccer.
No more accurate statement than man's accurate. Amazing job there. And Instinct did end up, we saw Cosmo Buster score 1 goal, but so far on that victory there, it was just Instinct getting the rest of the scores there. And we did see that final one. Cosmo was also set up there to get that goal. But this is just an Instinct highlight reel, and you heard it here first. The answer to Doc's prayers was Instinct, as we are going to get back into this matchup.
This team overall, and right off the bat, 8 seconds into the game, a passing Instinct off the backboard. Gil's going to be right there to catch the follow-up. Actually, a great 50 from Instinct off of Staten Island's own player. 8 seconds. Game 3. Boise State started to catch up.
You definitely called it earlier. You're like, it's fine. Usually the first one is warm-up for the rest, and Boise State has just been scoring faster and faster, mostly off of the back of Instinct.
It's a development of confidence. That's what it is. They go in with a little bit of skepticism, which is fine for a team to go in, and eventually once they realize we got some in the bag, you know, the communication is there, the follow-up, the shot placement, firing on all cylinders.
Almost gets it in there on Staten Island yet again as Gil is going to get the demo onto Mux. 11 is rotating and just trying to figure out what they can do against this oppressive Boise State offense.
There was another one almost in Staten Island's net. Cosmo with the follow-up.
There it is.
Middle net.
Cosmo Buster with the second score in this overall matchup against Staten Island here, proving that Instinct isn't the only one doing work on Boise State.
This whole team is full of well-rounded individuals who are very skilled at car soccer. So we could see any one of them pop off at any moment.
11-Teen wanted to pop off there, but then wasn't able to just because Cosmo Buster took the ball from them, and now Instinct is rotating in to get a shot. Just barely misses the ball at all, but Gil is going to put things back into Staten Island side of the court and get demoed by Muck.
It was a good demo, but the mistouch by 11-Teen at the end of the day doesn't get the clear ball for them. And a lot of pressure still being applied by Boise State, even though that demo came through. With the fake for the low shot, doesn't quite work through. There's another demo by Mux onto Instinct.
Now might be the chance.
Cosmo defense.
11-Teen is just barely going to miss that, but Mux is going to end up scoring. They rotated it to Mux, and that is Staten Island up 1, but still down 1 to Boise State's 2.
You know, every time I say something, it's just happens to go into the goal.
That is true. So maybe don't say anything when we're at the Boise State goal if we don't want Staten Island to score.
Once it crosses the half, you know, I guess I should stop now if I'm going to.
If it's in the blue, CMJ is not allowed to talk. I'm absolutely kidding here.
Yes.
As Mux is going to try and get this shot here, is unable to get it, but 11-Teen is there to capitalize on it, so they're not done yet.
They're keeping the pressure on. They're definitely, I thought, you know, we see a little bit of collapsing by some double commits by them, but they're staying back by the display of effort that they're not done with this game yet. It's still 2-1. And 3 minutes left. There's an
No! There were 3 members of Boise State in the goal, and then all 3 of them left. And so Drifty was able to score, tying up this round 2-2.
Little mistakes like that, that triple commit, or a triple commit is not a little mistake, but a mistake like that can cost a goal for Boise State. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left. Tied game. This could be anyone's.
And considering we got the first goal within the first 20 seconds of the match, there is definitely time for either team to turn this around here.
There's a good flick over by Mutz, leaving Gil alone in the net. Drifty mistouch. Instinct's going to clear it mid. Gil might get a touch on this ball, and he does. Quite the plays in the downfield part of Staten Island's own defense.
11-Teen is back into the game, so we're going to see if they're set up for a push here against Boise State. Cosmo Buster is currently the one shooting on Staten Island's goal, however.
Good to see good 50. Gil in possession of the ball, might fake it out. However, though, Staten Island's not going to fall for it. I believe that was Mux of the defense right there. Gypsy going to take possession of the ball up onto the wall. Instinct's going to set it back. There's a clear pass. And here we go, see it again. A bunch of, you know, power shots back and forth. The flick over. The demo by Instinct's going to come out and save us here.
And they are now down a member as 11-Teen is going to come back in that rotation there and try to get these shots. But Cosmo Buster's just going to take it all the way over to Staten Island and pass it to Instinct. Instinct and Cosmo Buster seem to be the dream team here, but 11-Teen is here to disrupt that.
A minute and a half's gone by here, and it's going to jump in front of the net. They're going to be saved. The demo coming out by 11-Teen messes up the rotation. A pass to Gil. A slight mistouch. And Drifty's already up for it. A pass in the middle. Do we have anybody? Oh, wow. Drifty now becoming the 4th member. Gets a touch, saves it.
Cosmo Buster did end up using a lot of boost in that save there, so now the boost is on the side of Staten Island here. Gil being the only Boise State member really with a lot of boost here, especially, and now Cosmo Buster goes up to 100% looking to do something.
Already seen the plays going off the backboard. Mistouch. Instant's going to set up for Gil, or the other way around, my apologies. But Mox already taking back control of the ball.
That is an open Boise State goal. We need some members to rotate there. No, we don't, because Gil's just going to take the ball and take things over to Staten Island's side of the field.
See a little bit of mistouches come out of here. We see probably a little bit of panic outside. Gil, 3rd man, is going to knock it right back out towards the defensive side.
Ooh, Instinct is trying to pull something tricky, getting it down from the top and into the goal. Maybe just barely misses it, just goes a little bit wide there. But now Mux has possession, and that's an empty goal. But Mux is going to miss. 11-Teen comes back up, seeing what they can do. But now Boise State has some members in that goal and on that side to defend. And this is the 2nd round where we're taken into overtime.
It shows a little bit of evenness out by these teams, and quite a good comparison of skill here, I'd say. Not as much mechanical skill, I'd say, from Staten Island. They definitely don't put as many flashy plays as Instinct has done here, but they definitely have the rotations down, and communication seems to be strong to them. You don't see a whole lot of double or triple commits coming out from them.
And probably the inverse is true for Boise State. Boise State is relying solely right now on individual mechanics. Gill finally coming into the scoreboard for Boise State here, and actually going to bring Boise State up 3-2 now.
I believe that was the golden goal.
Golden goal coming from Gill.
That's going to be the win. Boise State.
And that is Boise State taking that, just winning overall against the CSI Dolphins. Staten Island, they did make us work for it, though. Two of those that Boise State won took us into overtime, and it honestly could not have been a closer game. And if Boise State wants to stay in this, I think against Wayne State next, which we are going to go right into after this, I really think they need to not focus on the individual clutching as much and start doing things as a team. And Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. And that is Boise State winning against the Staten Island Dolphins. What do you think we need to improve going into our next matchup versus Wayne State?
On the obvious side, not as many triple or double commits. A little bit of boost management would be nice to say. Overall, I think those are the major factors we can do. A lot more team communication. We saw a lot of passes off the backboard, which I'd love to see that ball be put on top of a car and flick towards the middle, setting up a teammate of ours. Too many passes off the backboard can become predictable, which can be dangerous for Boise State going forward into this. We get by this time, but after this, we need to see improvement on it.
And before we go into Wayne State, let's see how that advice compares to Doc's keys to the game, which is pretty universal for all of our games. But before we get into that and our next matchup, we are going to go to a short break.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
and welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. We are doing pretty well tonight here in ECAC Rocket League. Boise State did just pick up a win against the CSI Dolphins. That is Staten Island. I am your host, Colby D'Angelo Alloway, and joining me to call all of the Rocket League action is Colin CMJ McJunkin. And tonight, we saw a lot of demos that came out at very, very key points. Do you think we'll continue to see that as we go into our next match against Wayne State?
If we want to see a lot of disruption on the side of creating space, of creating ball control, and dismissing the pressure that is applied to Boise State, that is something we should definitely see a lot more of going into this next game.
And you mentioned that sometimes backboard passes can become predictable. What are some things you can do instead of that?
Passing out to the middle is the biggest thing you can do. Keeping ball possession and ball control, getting a flick onto net, generally just causing a player to become uncomfortable in the net can create a lot of space and a lot of pressure. And if you follow up with demos, you could get a goal out of it.
And you know what? If your player is uncomfortable in the net, that usually just ends up with a goal anyway. And for the ECAC Collegiate Rocket League, it is a 3v3 soccer, best of 5 competitive maps, golden goal, sudden death. And those are the ECAC rules that we will be abiding by in our next matchup as we go against Wayne State. And just to kind of give our players a little bit more advice here and to see how it compares to your advice, we are going to go to Doc's keys to the game, which in Rocket League is you have a set play style, you need to understand your rotations, you need to be ready to follow up, and you have sweaty comms. And Doc's keys to the game are brought to us by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. And with that, we're going to get right into our second match of the night versus Wayne State.
Boise State in the blue, and Wayne State's going to be in the red here, with Instinct going off the 50 up a sidewall. And here we actually have Danger in, where we actually have Gil, Instinct, Danger, or normally you'd see Cobbs with us in that space. We're going to have Danger come out, and we're going to see what Danger can do for Boise State here.
Huge goal block there as we're just kind of seeing members pass the ball back and forth between the two teams. Nobody really getting a shot right now.
Out the sidewall coming from the pass. We're going to see Danger attempt to make a pass to the middle. However, it's going to be defended at a good 50, hanging over net. However, it's going to be denied by Wayne State, taking it back to our side with a good banger out to the side. Middle attempt to pass.
We have gone straight on over into blue territory here, but members of the ball is still passing back and forth. No team really has a huge shot on goal, deflected by Boise State, however.
There's that mid pass that I was talking about. The speed on that ball, it can be very difficult if you're not looking for that mid pass. And there it is again, but the crossbar is going to save it right there. And here we have another flip reset coming out for a player.
Crossbar best goal defender?
I say it all the time. It's like a rock. There it is again.
It's always there for you. Always there on both teams is unbiased. We did see it defend against twice there. As Gil is going to see what they can do. Danger's going to come right in, but that ball is nowhere near where Danger was going.
Coming from the corner, we're going to have Danger attempting to make a disruption on the play here. Playing a little slow on Boise State's side. Ball still stuck in the corner with the miscommit by Boise State. But we're going to a good 50 going at the sidewall. We're looking to see Boise State maintain control here. Going out for a pass on the side.
Things are heading into orange territory here. The ball still going back and forth is going to be sent long down mid, and things are going blue, but Boise State luckily has somebody in the goal to defend.
They're ready to see a mid pass coming out. This could spell disaster for Wayne State if Boise State's on it. There's a 50 coming out, learning outside of net. We're going back to the corner over there. We're going to see control coming out here by Danger. The pass set up.
Oh, there it is.
Right.
We were talking about how Instinct was the answer of Doc's accuracy prayer, and there it is. First goal coming out with about 2 minutes it takes to get that goal. But Boise State is now up 1 to Wayne State's nothing.
Love to see the defense come out strong here with the kickoff going towards Boise State's side. Already putting a shot on net there, but saved by Gil. Here's a potential ground pass coming out of it, and a 50 from Danger outside of our own net. The beat with Danger up in the air, putting some spin on the ball, misses the touch. It's hanging out over net. Gil up with the pass down.
Almost.
Still hanging
Not
up.
quite. There it is, though. Instinct coming in. We had the remaining members of Boise State go in. Each of them made an effort. We missed the touch, and we missed that final touch there, but Instinct just comes flying in from mid to get that goal.
There it is. 2-0.
2-0.
60
Yeah.
seconds.
In the past 30 seconds after 2 minutes of not scoring.
Anything can happen in Rocket League at any given point. Such a fast-paced game. You have to be willing to adapt on the fly, and we're going to see how Wayne State answers back here with what's their mentality. What are they going to change up?
They're trying to take things over into Boise State's side of the court. No shots on goal yet. They're just getting set up for it. That was almost a good one. Just went a little bit too far wide.
There's a 50 coming out. But I believe that was Danger that did. We got a pass coming up on the side wall. Instinct following it up with the backboard defense coming out from Wayne State. Still going from corner to corner on both sides of the field. We'd love to see it get out towards the middle. See a little bit of control here. The denial with the 50 hanging out over the net.
Danger's going to see what they can do, get set up for a goal. They will be denied, and things head over onto Boise State's side of the territory. Luckily, they do have somebody in goal to defend. It's not just empty. They will defend their goal and send things back over into the orange side of the field.
Here comes out the ball, hanging out over net for Wayne State once again. Do some missed opportunities at Boise State. Here comes the flick by Instinct just outside. Will there be a follow-up? No, with Wayne State taking to the side. A good 50 by Danger here. We're seeing a lot of Danger and Instinct here. We'd love to see a Gil come out.
Almost. Crossbar, best goalie?
Crossbar, best goalie. Player of the game?
Player of the game, Crossbar. Absolutely. I think that's 5 passes now that have just hit the crossbar and bounced off.
We're seeing a pass come out by middle with Wayne State taking control, sending off to the side. Here's a shot attempt. Saved by Danger. Another save by Danger. Not going to come on the scoreboard, but we all know that it came out from in. Middle again. There's a shot.
No.
Crossbar.
Stop it.
Ooh.
They are going to finally end up scoring. That is Capsano. That is not quite even. They are still down 1. Boise State 2 to Wayne State's 1 now with the last minute remaining here. Or the last 19 seconds, excuse me. Tall order for Wayne State if they want to take this round.
Definitely plausible to happen here, as we already see a pass coming on the backboard. Instinct's going to clear it up to the side. Maintaining ball control. Pass back out to the middle. It looks like Wayne State's net is empty, though.
They're just barely going to miss that.
5 seconds is going to take a miracle, but there's the pass.
Oh,
middle.
no!
Wow.
There's the miracle to take it into overtime. That was from half field, just came through an empty net through all. Nobody on Boise State was able to do anything. You can see all 3 of them tried there just to get there, but nobody could get it. And that is Wayne State taking Boise State to overtime in round 1 again.
Now it just comes back to that golden goal sudden death here. First one to score. We're going to take the first game of the series at a best of 5. You know, we saw Boise State dominate a little bit in the beginning, but now it's time to unravel.
I need Cap to stop for the side of Wayne State there because he has so far been that carry.
He's off that backboard, coming up the sidewall. Danger making an attempt to maintain control, going back up to the side of the corner for Boise State. Wayne State making some creative plays here.
Trying to get the shot onto that Boise State goal, but Boise State's not just going to give it to him.
There's that demo coming out to Instinct. That could have been an opportunity, missed opportunity, I believe, for Wayne State. And now we're just seeing a little bit of ball possession from Boise State.
Instinct wants that shot on a Wayne State's goal. Will be unable to get it here as we have been in overtime for 57 seconds. And we almost scored, but Wayne State is able to take that out and send things over to the blue side of the field. And we have no one in net. We have somebody in net now. And that is a lot less scary.
Here it's off the sidewall again. And it's possession coming out from the middle. Good 50 coming out. This could be made something to capitalize. It's going to be sent right back to Boise State's side. Instinct
right back to Wayne State.
Middle.
Oh, gets
wow.
it! Instinct is just barely with the tip of the back of their car gonna score that goal, and Instinct, I think, has been the biggest player for Boise State, almost uncontested tonight.
A hat trick, scoring all 3 goals for Boise State. Undoubtable, making Instinct's presence known was for sure there.
For sure, a huge player on the side of Boise State, and just as we saw the quote earlier, the answer to Doc's prayers in terms of accuracy. And then this is our lineup tonight. We have Gil, Danger, and Instinct, and today's lineups are brought to you by Count. Count's Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. But Danger, with the swap in, definitely more than did what they had to do. We saw them setting up for goals all the time. It feels like they just barely missed missed accurately at some points. How do you improve that? What would you say he needs to do?
You know, besides the crossbar being one of the best defenders there,
oh yeah,
avoiding the crossbar could help a little bit. In terms of improving accuracy, it just comes down to in the moment. Like in the moment, repetition, and it has to be muscle memory throughout it, because there's no real way to be 100% accurate all the time. You know, it's a sphere. It's a little difficult. But you have to be confident in the shot you're taking in the moment.
And would you say boost management would help Boise State out at all as we go in? Do you think they've been a little bit lackluster on that?
A little. You know, we could say there's definitely some improvement needed there, but overall I believe they're doing everything correct as of far. You know, we haven't seen any major critical mistakes, a couple open nets, but that's some communication issues that are easily resolved.
We're going to get right into this game against Wayne State here, round 2 in a best of 5.
There's already a good 50 coming out from Instinct that laid right out in front, a missed opportunity for Boise State to capitalize in the first couple seconds of the game. And here we're seeing 2 Boise defenders just fly at the ball, missing completely.
Some big dribbling there, but will be unable to get the shot onto Boise State's goal. Ooh, Instinct goes flying by trying to get that ball.
There's a good 50 coming out. Another miss. Gil taking it off the back wall, dribbling into the air.
In some big aerial plays from Gil there.
Gonna be stopped by F, but Instinct's gonna pick up the slack a little bit. Making the fake, so the pass out
Instinct
to the
setting
middle.
up, almost. Danger almost capitalizes on what Instinct set them up for there, but there will be a save coming out by F. Instinct, however, is still going to go ahead and score, which is the answer to Boise State's prayers right now. Again, I will keep mentioning it because Instinct keeps scoring.
4-0 right now, 4 goals. They scored 4 of the 4 goals that Boise State has scored so far.
And Boise State is up 1 against Wayne State in this map 2 best of 5.
There's a missed touch.
There it is again. Wow, within 5 seconds of scoring his last goal is going to go ahead and take that one too. Boise State now up 2 to Wayne State's nothing. But you know what? They turned it around within the last minute of the last game. I fully believe they could do the same thing here.
3 minutes and 33 seconds left. It's definitely possible to come out here, especially when Boise State loses the kickoff. However, they're already going to see possession coming out here from Gil. And the Wayne State's going to take control with the 50 coming out from mid. However, Instinct's already up for that, but a missed touch is going to come out. F making a shot to net, but Gil is going to save it after being bumped. Another shot saved with Instinct, putting it right back on the Wayne State's net. And here I think Gil, it's going to take a little bit of slow play. Off the pass.
Boise State had an open net there that Wayne State was unable to capitalize on, but they're going to do it again. And then Instinct's going to go ahead and score right onto Wayne State, taking us up 3-0.
Instinct's second hat trick in the series, and there's only been 2 games so far. Making it definitely known that a star player. Very accurate, you could say. Gil already coming out with a miss 50. Instinct's now up in the air. Gets a 50 out of... With Danger taking up now off the wall. Still stuck in Boise State's corner.
Gil hopefully setting up for a pass is denied there. Instinct is unable to save that. That is Wayne State's first goal, but they're still down 2 to Boise State's 3.
There's just some missed 50-50s there, not exactly working in our favor.
Just barely missed the jump we see there on the side of Instinct.
And Wayne State's back in the game just like that. Now it's only a 2-goal game, and simple as that, with still 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to play. Instinct right up the middle, getting the missed touch with the denial coming out of Cap.
Danger's going to send things over into Wayne State's side of the court, and Danger's going to score! We were just talking about how they more than carried their weight, and they're going to go ahead and get the only non-instinct score this game so far for the side of Boise State.
Playing with some speed there. We'd love to see it coming out from Boise State, especially coming from Danger. The speed there was killer.
Wayne State is now down 3, and Boise State is 4 to Wayne State's 1 with 2 minutes and 24 seconds remaining. And the lower the time gets, the more Wayne State is put in a very uncomfortable position.
And we'd love to see how Wayne State's going to deal with that coming out from here. With already an open net coming out from Boise State, Danger making a missed touch on it. Just a misread. It's hovering in Boise State's corner here. Instinct's going to take control out of it. Getting a fake, has 2 defenders on him. There's Danger with the misread.
Dang.
Too far up in the field.
Wayne State now 2 to Boise State's 4. This is still back in the territory of being a 2-goal game. And with 2 minutes still remaining, this is definitely winnable for Wayne State, but they have to be very aggressive. And Boise State, if they want to win and they want to keep their lead, they need to stop those little misreads.
Caught out of rotation there, definitely went up just a bit too far, but off the backboard, Instinct's going to answer right back.
Oh my gosh!
Woo. Putting some style on it. The self-play here, coming out with the flip reset touch off the backboard, the double touch off the backboard.
I would say Instinct is nothing if not style points, as Boise State is going to go up 3. 4 of those goals scored by Instinct.
Definitely. Nickname should be style points.
Style points.
Pass came out from middle. F is going to save it, though. That was that mid pass that we've been looking for out of Boise State. Another opportunity coming here. Danger.
Ooh, gonna get it.
Dish.
There it is again. Boise State now up 4, 6-2. And with 2 minutes remaining, 2-goal game with 2 minutes, definitely winnable. 4-goal game just to tie it with 2 minutes. With 1 minute and 33 seconds, looking a little bit less winnable for Wayne State here.
Yeah, definitely get into the latter half of this game. It's going to be a struggle for Wayne State from this point on. They have to make some miracle plays. They have to be on top of it. They have to be aggressive.
And, you know, that's pretty aggressive, but it's just barely going to miss the goal, so not get them the point that they were looking for there.
Saw Danger fly across the screen with Instinct already coming back up. The backboard defense is going to come into success here. A potential nether Doomsday dish by Danger. Just a bit off.
Things are going to head over into Boise. Nope, they're going to stay firmly in the orange side of things as Instinct comes and weighs in there. Things are going pretty back and forth between the middle of the court right now. Neither team really looking to give up a ton of ground.
Sequel fake, sequel misplays here. However, we'd love to see ball possession. A pass middle, Gill, just a slight mid-touch, but Instinct's going to take it up the sidewall with the pull shot onto Cap, putting it right back into Wayne State's territory.
Popped up into the air. Danger with that aerial play. Gets a shot and just scores for the hat trick. Now Instinct is not the only one getting the hat tricks there because Danger just pulled off one of their own.
Danger heard the nickname style points going to Instinct and said, no, I'd like
No,
that one.
I would like that nickname there. Boise State now up 5 in the final 30 seconds. Wayne State needs a miracle.
At this point, you know, it's safe to say, does Wayne State just go into third game, you know, chalk up the score for this one and almost.
Ooh, that was almost Boise State up 8-2 there.
Wayne State almost scored a last-second goal there from themselves. The pass came out from the middle. F clearly not going to be able to make the stop there for it. Off the backboard, Gill still staying with the ball. Pass to the middle with Instinct's going to take it.
Boise State is actually keeping this in the air, even with their massive point lead, just trying to get a final score here. It will end up touching the ground finally. Boise State was going for almost a little too many style points there, especially when you're up that many. That is Boise State up 2 rounds. And now the next player that we want to highlight is the crossbar. We have a love-hate relationship with the Crossfires. Sometimes Crossy comes through in the clutch and provides the defense we need. Other times, absolutely no help. Sometimes it just goes sailing into the goal, but sometimes Crossbar's there to help.
It's just interesting. The Crossbar is an engineering major.
Well, what else would the Crossbar be?
Construction?
You're absolutely right. Proposed Crossbar major swap to construction, because you're right. The Crossbar isn't very inventive, but they're very consistent and always there when you need them, which is exactly what you're looking for from a construction major.
And Boise State, Rocket League.
And Boise State Rocket League, consistent and always there when you need them. Going back to the Boise State Rocket League, as we go into our third round, what are the big things going right for Boise State right now?
Going right so far is just creating a lot of pressure. We have a very solid amount of backboard defense. We haven't seen, besides that one little slip up by Danger, we've seen some solid amount of rotations and just overall hunger. They've kept control of the ball a decent amount this game.
That's Boise State up 1 to Wayne State's nothing, and we didn't even see the goal. And Wayne State's going to even it up. Boise State and Wayne State sitting 1-1 here in this, what appears to be incredibly aggressive match.
Some terminology I learned from the last time. A complicated 0-0 is what you could call this.
A complicated 0. I like that. Instead of a 1-1, it's a complicated 0-0.
Oh.
It's not even that anymore. Wayne State's just going to score 2 goals in under 10 seconds and put Boise State in kind of an uncomfortable position, because usually we like to be the ones that do that.
Wayne State definitely coming out saying, we're still here. We're still in this game. 2-0 in the series, but it could be a reverse sweep.
And a reverse sweep, everybody always loves an underdog story. And you know what? This might be an underdog story in the making, as they're just going to get that other one in less than 30 seconds. They've made their 3 goals.
There's that middle pass, just that nothing too fancy, just put some real simple on it, but a lot of speed, and there it is, 3-0. But still 4 minutes left of gameplay, so
Boise State's got to stop the bleeding, or this is going to turn into a massive roll.
with 4 minutes, that is definitely possible. The backboard pass coming out.
Ooh. There it is! Instinct is attempting to stop the bleeding. I think this is the high-score match that we were expecting. Both teams are just, there hasn't been more than like 20 seconds in between the past, like, 5 goals that have come out from both of these teams. And with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining, I could see this going close to double digits if we continue along this path.
Along this path, scoring a goal every 10 seconds. It could very well happen. There comes an attempted demos. Gonna come off of it though for Wayne State. Danger now has controlled the ball here with the air dribble.
Ooh, some big aerial plays ultimately will not end up paying off for Danger just yet, but Gil has the ball. It will be taken from them, sent over to the Boise State's almost empty net, but luckily Danger rotated just in time to save that.
A double demo coming out from both sides. 2 in the net there. Danger puts a shot on the net, but with 2 in the net, double the chance of saving the ball there. Gil now stopping the ball right in the middle. Instinct's going to take control.
Instinct wants it. Danger wants it. Danger doesn't quite get it, just barely, as things head back onto Boise State's side of the court.
That could be interesting, but both of Wayne State's attackers are going to miss the commitment on that ball. And with Boise State still with the ball in the corner here, could be confusing what to go with next. Oh, and that's going to get a fake onto him. So the third man for Wayne State's going to be there to save it. There's a good 50 coming out. Open.
Instinct. Almost.
Fake.
Not quite.
Just a bit outside. Almost there. They're coming out of pinch for Wayne State. However, though, Instinct's in that third man position, ready to make a play. Instinct got beat there. The miscommunication by Wayne State. That could have been a missed potential opportunity for a goal there. Oh!
Ooh, Gil, there it is for Boise State, tying up 3-3, and that goal took a little bit longer than 10 seconds, more like a minute, so we might not see this game go to double digits, but Boise State has tied it up.
And there it is, just like that. A missed touch from Wayne State's own player sets up Gil perfect for a pass, and just that game sense right there. That's the thing you cannot teach. is Gil being able to react just quietly that fast and make such a creative shot on that. Flip reset potential coming out.
Danger's going to Danger's going to defend the crossbar. I mean, between Danger and Old Crossy, the engineering major, Boise State's had a pretty solid defense, and Instinct is going to go ahead and pull ahead for Boise State, taking us 4-3.
There's that high pass going up Instinct, and when you give Instinct the ball like that, and they're going over in an open net, you got to expect execution, and that's exactly what Instinct did there. Danger not going to have control of the ball, but a good 50 coming out from the corner side of the wall. Instinct going to take it off the wall for flip reset, gets it. Backboard defense going to come out from Wayne State. Gil is still managing to control the ball here. Flip reset off the ceiling, just misses on it. Instinct is a 50, but we have an overcommit here.
Boise State is in some trouble, but Danger's going to stop the bleeding for Boise State there and maybe stop the goal. Gil's there to stop the goal as well. That was almost a tied game for Wayne State.
There it is coming out. See a little bit of luck. Oh, here comes the bump. Not a demo, but a bump. Danger over those going to stop it right on the corner wall. See a little bit of scrambling on here. Good 50 to the corner wall. Instinct getting a back pass. No one's there to capitalize on it. This could be dangerous thing right from the middle of the net.
Gil taking up on the ceiling, loves those aerial plays. The ball will get taken from them, however, and handed right over to Instinct. With 1 minute remaining, Boise State is still just up one. One goal would really help us kind of like cinch this round.
Seeing the ball stuck here in the corner, but finally Gil's going to pass it out for the middle. But it's going to be capitalized on by Wayne State, putting it back in Boise State's side.
No.
Linger in front of the net. Here's
Gil
Danger.
stops it.
Oh.
But not going to be able to do it again. And that is a tied game again with 34 seconds remaining. Wayne State and Boise State tied 4-4. Somebody's got to pull something off in the next 34 seconds.
Anyone's game here, and we see just a little bit of missed rotations here. A little bit of more better boost management here coming out from Boise State.
F has the ball, though, which is not what you're looking for if you're a Boise State fan in these final 26 seconds in dwindling.
I believe it is F that has scored the past 2 goals for Wayne State.
Exactly. Exactly why you don't want specifically them to have it.
That might be the player you go for a demo here. And that's the one thing we haven't seen a lot more of this game. And coming off to the crossbar here. Instinct's going to maintain control.
Instinct trying to see to do what they can. Gil keeping it away from Boise State's goal. We see this switch to aerial play here, but ultimately the ball is going to be played off of the wall there and then just touch the ground and send us into overtime.
This kickoff is going to determine what could go next. Going in Boise State's favor, Danger needs to capitalize on this play.
Quite.
Gil's going to maintain possession of the ball. Only one defender.
Gil wants it. Gil
Almost
doesn't get it. Instinct gets it, though.
That is Instinct's 3rd hat trick of the series. One for every game.
One for every, yep. Against these teams, Instinct doing a fantastic job, but also another player worth highlighting was Danger, who got the rest of the goals and did their own impressive things as soon as they were swapped in. Boise State is going to end up being the winner of the round 3 playoffs against Wayne State, and they took us to overtime, and it felt a little scary. Boise State was down 3 at one point and really had to kind of like, oh, we need to reevaluate our whole strategy going into these next games, but that is going to be a Boise State victory here. And what do you think is the biggest thing that enabled Boise State to succeed tonight?
That enabled them to succeed was a level of consistency from Instinct. It is very apparent that Instinct was very strong throughout the entirety of this game. Definitely notable, a player of the game. More than likely, I'm pretty sure we'll certainly get it. But it is that setting up Instinct with a lot of passes there. We saw a lot of overcommits and a lot of out-of-rotation plays from Wayne State and Boise State alike, but we were able to capitalize on those plays. And that's exactly what Boise State did perfectly throughout the series.
And you know what? for player of the game, if you're going to nominate Instinct, then I'm going to nominate Danger, because I would say that that was the other big player that had a lot of impact in more than just scoring, though. We didn't see Instinct a lot of the time, like, in the goal, protecting them from scoring, but we saw Danger do a lot of that, and there were definitely a couple of times where Wayne State was set up to score, but Danger was the one that was there to keep all of Boise State's hopes and dreams alive. And it does look like it's going to be Instinct, which is not surprising. Instinct definitely made a whole highlight reel of our games tonight against Staten Island and Wayne State here. And the ICCU player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Instinct is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game, and honestly the carry for Boise State.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, there's really nothing else much to say besides Instinct was on fire this game.
The whole game.
Yeah, the whole series. You could say Instinct and the crossbar. I think we didn't consider the crossbar for player of the game.
You're right. How could we? But, it ended up being Instinct anyways. So maybe next matchup we'll see crossbar player of the game. Maybe they can block some more of Wayne State's shots and, not let us go down 3 there. As we prepare to close out this match, are there any big takeaways that haven't already been highlighted?
It was definitely a whole lot of demos that were missed, in my opinion. That's the one thing I'd love to see Boise State capitalize on, is demoing much, much more often, getting to the back line, being disruptive, stealing back boost, just being an overall nuisance. A lot of things we see in other Doc's keys to succeeding in the game is taking fights in unfair places and evening out the numbers, making it a 3-2 situation, 3-1 situation. It can create a lot of pressure.
It's not evening out the numbers, but it definitely is taking the fight that you want to take, pulling from the Overwatch player of the game. And before we close out the night, we do have our top 5 plays of the game, which are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. And from all of us here at Boise State, thank you for joining us tonight for our Esports Rocket League matchups. We're very happy with the way things went tonight in Rocket League and in Overwatch. And be kind and stay safe. Can do against this oppressive Boise State offense.
There was another one almost in Staten Island's net. Caught with a follow-up.
There it is.
Middle net.
Cosmo Buster with the second score in this overall matchup against Staten Island here, proving that Instinct isn't the only one doing work on Boise State.
The miscommunication by Wayne State, that could have been a missed potential opportunity for a goal there. Oh!
Ooh, Gil, there it is for Boise State, tying up 3-3, and that goal took a little bit longer than 10 seconds, more like a minute, so we might not see this game go to double digits, but Boise State has tied it up.
Sidewall with the pull shot onto Cap, putting it right back into Wayne State's territory.
Popped up into the air. Danger with that aerial play. Gets a shot and just scores for the hat trick. Now Instinct is not the only one getting the hat tricks there, because Danger just pulled off one of their own. And probably the inverse is true for Boise State. Boise State is relying solely right now on individual mechanics. Gil finally coming into the scoreboard for Boise State here, and actually going to bring Boise State up 3-2 now.
I believe that was the golden goal.
Golden goal coming from Gil.
Misses the touch. It's hanging out over net. Gil up with the pass down.
Almost.
Still hanging out.
Quite. There it is, though. Instinct coming in. We had the remaining members of Boise State go in. Each of them made an effort. We missed the touch, and we missed that final touch there, but Instinct just comes flying in from mid to get that goal.